In many ways, credit data is the most essential currency of American life. It is bought and sold on a daily basis by businesses from across the American spectrum. Every entity that Americans come in contact with, their data is being collected. Their credit data, and that data is being used for credit decisions as well. So when you go shopping, your data is being collected. When you surf online, your data is being collected. When you buy something, when you buy a car, when you take out credit, your data is being collected. Now, when decisions are being made for you about credit or for buying an apartment or for renting an apartment or for getting a job, that credit data that's being collected is being used to make determinations about you. The reality is that the American people have turned over all of their credit data, all of their personal data to three big companies. And those three companies control so many parts of the American life. They control, again, where you can rent an apartment, where you can buy a car, how you can buy a car, the cost of buying a car, the cost of buying an apartment, the cost of credit, decisions that your ability to get a job is all controlled by these three private companies who have collected massive amounts of data, which I might add are often not kept very securely and often are inaccurate. There is very little regulatory control over those agencies, and the fact is that when you look at the CFPB complaint database, no industry gets more complaints than the credit reporting agencies because their failure to keep accurate information. And for a consumer to try to correct bad data using with those agencies like Equifax, it is a nightmare. It's incredibly difficult to correct erroneous data in the United States. Well, I think for the first part is they really should not allow three private credit reporting agencies to control people's consumer data. I think that's essential. I think that when you look at regulating that industry, you create a credit collection registry that consumers have more control over. That you do not turn that information over to private companies who then make enormous profits over that information. And not only that, but the regulators need to be very careful in terms of how they monitor that type of work. European regulators also need to think about the impact credit reporting has on low-income people. Our credit reporting system simply exacerbates the problem of wealth inequality in our country. People who have thin credit files, people who are not part of our mainstream credit system, pay more money for credit. That's not the way it should work. We need to figure out better ways of tracking people's ability to repay than simply rely on data that these companies are collecting and buying and selling. It does not work in the United States. It's created more problem than it's worth, and you must look at a much better system than what we have in the United States.